Hi, today I'm going to show you on this piece of white dowel how to do layering. Whether it's dry layering, so you're stacking layers on top of dry paint, or wet layering where you're blending the colors throughout with the wet paints amalgamating together to create a nice smooth transition in your colors. So I'm going to bring you over to the paint table and we'll start our spray now. Okay, so I have my two pieces of dowel here in my helping hands. I've base coated them white, which is an opaque white, Createx. I'm going to use, for example, on this, I'm going to use the opaque yellow, and fluorescent orange for this example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to base coat this one, the bottom half of it, yellow in this opaque. I'm going to dry that off, and then I'm going to base coat this one in the opaque yellow, but I'm not going to dry it off. I'm going to leave it wet. I'm going to then put some fluorescent orange into my airbrush. I'll wet blend this one, and then I'll spray over this dried yellow on this one. So first things first, I've already got yellow loaded up into my gun. So I'm going to take this. Gonna spray on. Just gonna spray that on nicely. Let's see if I can get this focused. There we go. So all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna base coat this one with yellow, just because I want it to go on nice and thick. I'm going to spray this, dry this left one off here. I'm going to turn my fan off so I don't blow a breaker. Okay, so right now they're both just sprayed yellow. This one's completely dry, this one's still tacky. So I still got a little bit of yellow in the chamber. I'm just going to use that up. Okay. So now I'm going to take the fluorescent orange. The orange in the chamber. Well, it's still wet. So that one's wet. Blend. This one I'm just going to spray the orange over top. Now that it's dried. So, you know, that's not showing up. Let me turn this exterior light down a bit. I got a lot of glare from it. There we go. That's a little better. Doesn't want to focus in on that. So what you have, see if I can zoom in, is I have a straight orange line going across that yellow. So the orange is still wet, you can see the glare on it, but I've sprayed over that white, or the yellow, sorry, that's been dried. So now I have the effect of a yellow base with an orange top coat that comes to a directly straight orange line. Whereas when you wet blend it, you can see that the transition, you can see the white there, the transition from the yellow up to the orange is very gradual, and you can see the fade of orange coming in here. So we go from the yellow to a very like a sunset light orange here as it gets darker progressively until we get to the dark top fluorescent orange. So the thing that this technique is really good for is more so a lot of people don't realize when they're new to airbrushing the second technique. Because by the time we get the paint washed out of, like our base coat washed out of our gun, we get the next paint installed in there, our base coat a lot of times is dry. So then we just go ahead and we spray that top layer over top, and we try to feather it with the airbrush, which is possible, but when you're doing that, you're just spraying a unified color. You're just spraying the fluorescent orange over the solid base coat. Sorry, it keeps focusing on the paint in the background. So, because of that, we're getting just the two different colors, as opposed to the multiple different colors on this one, where you have that gradient fade. So, just remember that if you want a nice fade, don't take the time to rinse out your brush. Just spray out as much residual as you can, and then apply your next coat if you want to blend them, because that'll give you the best blending technique. However, if you want a solid center line, then apply your base coat, let it dry, reapply your top coat over top of that to the line that you want, to give you that fine definition between the two paint colors. It's a little trick to get a nice gradient fade on your bodies, which will give you a nice blend. And that's how I would get a technique like that with the white, well, the cream base coat, which I faded into the green on the top, which gives you the nice transition through the body. Alright, hope this helps. Hope you can use it. Good luck, and let me see what you got going on.